What is up, YouTube? Happy late Thanksgiving. By this time, Thanksgiving is over. By the time you see this video, hope everybody enjoyed time with friends and family. I hope you didn't overeat on the turkey. But even if you did, it's all good, man. But it's time to get back to the grind. It's Alan. This is Property Hustle. And we're back with another video today, guys. We're back with one that I have felt like it's important to share with my audience, however big or small we are. I feel that it's very important for me to share this video with you as we head into the new year, as we finish out 2019 and as we go into 2020. And that is, I want to share with you 3 of the most common mistakes that people make, that are fears that you have before starting a business or before getting into something like real estate or starting any kind of business, an e-commerce business or a consulting business, anything where you feel like there's an urge inside of you that you want to do something more, but that you have a bunch of fears that stop you from doing it, that stop you from getting started. I want to share with you 3 that I had that I think are most important for me to let you know how we got over them. And then I want to share at the end of this video 3 things that I still need to work on that might help you also. So stick around to the end of this video if you want to catch those 3 things that I'm going to personally be working on as we go into 2020. Let's get right into it. All right, guys, so 3 things that I think would be really helpful for you to know about, that I ran into, that are fears that I think everyone has when they're first starting a business. And let me start by making a disclaimer. These were not the only 3 fears that I had. There were other things too. I don't want to burden you with a long list. I'm highlighting what I felt were the strongest fears that kind of crept up on me as I was working to start a business on the side. So these are 3 things that kind of paralyzed me, even though they aren't the only 3 things that I think would be helpful for you to know and work through in the beginning, so that you don't kind of get held up and push it off and leave starting a business for another time, which may never happen. So the first one is this, being afraid to fail. That is one of the biggest things that I ran into when I was considering starting a business on the side, or when I actually was getting started, looking at things, trying to figure out what was the best, what business was it going to be. I ended up in real estate, but it doesn't matter the business. One of the biggest fears I think anyone has is being afraid to fail. And here's where it came from for me. I did horrible in high school, guys. I did horrible in high school. I didn't even graduate from high school on time. I had to go to summer school and alternative school so that I could graduate and get a diploma. But at some point, as I was working through life and just having a regular job, I got the opportunity to, first of all, I saw how hard work paid off and provided new opportunities for me, and that inspired me. So then an opportunity came up for me to go to college, and I ended up going to college and getting really good grades, which was like a completely different person than me who was in high school. And the success of going to school and the success of doing well at work made it so that I became afraid to fail again. Because I had come a long way, because I had been bad at some point and then came a long way right there in the middle, I became afraid to kind of reach out and do things that were uncomfortable, because I didn't want a black mark on my record of me doing so well currently. And that's an irrational fear. I mean, your life is different than mine. You may not have had that same situation, but you may have reasons why you're afraid to step out of your comfort zone and take a risk and do something like start a business. It might involve the fact that you're scared that you might lose money. It might be that you're scared of what people will think of you if you fail. It might be that you have family or friends that think it's not a good idea. These are all reasons that it might happen. Do not listen to that stuff, guys. Take the risk and think about it this way. If you fail, let's think together about what is the absolute worst thing that could happen. The absolute worst thing that could happen is that you don't make it. You don't succeed. Your business fails. You thought you were going to be a millionaire and it didn't happen. That on your first try. That is the worst that can happen. And then what'll happen? You'll go back to your normal job, or if you left your job, you'll go back and get another job, and you will. If you decide it's not for you, then you'll move on with your life. It may be uncomfortable. It may take a little extra time, but that is, in reality, that's the worst that's going to happen to you guys. So don't be afraid of failure. Okay, the second fear that I ran into, and this is a very common one, is not knowing where to start. So you have an idea for a business. You want to get into real estate. You want to get into anything. You want to make an Amazon store. You want to become a distributor for some kind of drink or snack product. I mean, these are all entrepreneurial things that I see floating around on the internet. You want to do something like this, but you don't have any background in the area, and you don't know where to start. This is another very common problem that everyone faces. Do not let this be the reason why you don't start. One of the biggest reasons why I made this channel was to share my experiences with whoever would be wanting to listen, so that they could go on YouTube and Google it, investing in real estate or entrepreneurship or business tips, and find this channel and a bunch of others like it. There's tons of other ones that are way bigger than me, that could share their insight with you, so that you could have a leg up when you go to start your business. Years ago when I started mine, again, there was a lot less of that content around. And when I discovered YouTube and other areas of the internet, I mean Google searching, it really helped me get an idea of where to start. And you don't have to follow my exact behavior. You don't have to follow the exact behavior of another person who has a YouTube channel or anyone who's giving advice on the internet, but you can get certain principles. You can take, that makes sense to me, and you can take over here, that makes sense to me, and you will find for yourself the ability to know where the starting line is, and to know where to perhaps invest your money in the first little part, to know where to spend your time in developing whatever product it is you have. This is a huge advantage. Don't take the fear. And by the way, this fear is very normal. The fear of not knowing where to start is a very normal fear. It's not like unusual. But don't let it paralyze you. Don't let it keep you from coming up to the starting line, being excited about creating something new, and then being too scared to start, so backing off and not doing it. Push forward. Take the first couple steps. Talk to the first couple people. Make your first YouTube video, make your first Facebook page, buy samples of your first product. I mean, take the first steps in making it happen, and then take another little step, and then take another little step, and then take another little step. And before you know, you look back and you've taken 10 steps from the starting line, and you may as well keep going now. Don't let the fear of not knowing where to start prevent you from starting. That's a big one that I had to kind of overcome as I was starting my business, and I want you to know that I had it and that everyone else has it. So you're gonna run into it too. Don't let it stop you. All right, guys. This third one is one of the biggest ones that is I think a misconception. I think all of us know this in theory, but because we're human, we're impatient, so we tend to dwell on this a lot. And that is, your business that you start on the side and your hustle that you do is going to take time. It's not just going to take time, it's going to take tons of hard work, which is like a whole separate thing. We can have a whole video on how necessary it is to grind. But above all else, do not be afraid to start a business because you don't see it happening all at once. There is no overnight lottery scratch-off ticket secret for this stuff. I don't care what business you're in. I don't care if there's another YouTuber telling you that you can get rich in 1 month. I don't care who's telling it to you. I'm sorry if there's someone out there who's saying it. I'm sorry, it's not true. There is only one way to build something from nothing in terms of a business, and that is grind, time, adjustment, and it is not happening overnight. Don't care who you are. What that should mean for you is that you should not feel defeated if you don't see a lot of success in the first little time that you start your business. You may see nothing. You may feel like you're going backwards. Do not let that stop you. When I started my business, I made nothing. I mean, it was all just an idea. I had no clients for property management. I didn't own any real estate. It was all just an idea. And I went and looked at houses, and even after I bought my first house, I didn't even know how to rent it. I just, made Craigslist ads and rented it for too cheap and didn't make any money. It's all okay. It's all part of the learning process. Don't let the lack of overnight success stop you from starting your business in 2020. I mean, we're talking about getting up, going out and trying to make a big change from 2019 to 2020. If you've been thinking about starting a business, or if you've been thinking about investing in real estate and you haven't done it, don't let these things stop you. Use the fact that this is the end of the year. You can get your new year, new me on, and you can go into 2020 knowing that this stuff is stuff that's normal, and you don't have to accept it as reality. You can move past these fears, just like everyone who is successful has already done. Now, guys, real quick, I want to share with you 3 things that I need to work on personally as I go into 2020. Now, I don't want to sit here and make a video acting like I have it all figured out. I've been in business for years now, and there are still adjustments that I need to make in my own life to keep my head on straight and to be successful. And I want to share with you some of the things that I want to work on to improve myself, so that you understand that people who are already in business are human. We're still always adjusting, and just as an encouragement to you that there's other people working on themselves also. And here it is. Number 1 is I want to figure out a way to have a better work-life balance. Now, here's what that means. I am used to working 70, 80-hour weeks. I mean, the buck stops with me. If something goes wrong, if I have an employee that if something gets messed up, in the end of the day, that's my reputation. That's my company's reputation on the line. So I tend to compensate for that by just grinding until every problem in front of me is resolved, and then I look up and it's 1 a.m. and I haven't been home, and I have a family, so I want to have a better work-life balance. How do I achieve that? I learn to delegate better. That's one thing I need to do, is learn to delegate better. I want to perhaps wake up earlier. I used to be really good at waking up early, and I don't know what happened. I'm not as good at waking up early anymore as I used to be. Maybe it's because of kids, I don't know. If you have kids, let me know in the comments if that's what kills it for you. But no matter what it is, I'm going to work to achieve a better work-life balance. And that is to say, leave some work out of my life and carve out some time for me to enjoy life. What's all the hustling good for if you can't enjoy life, guys, right? So that's something that I need to do better at, and I want you to know about it, because when you start hustling and grinding, you got to make sure that you have a balance also, so you don't get burned out. Number 2 that I need to work better on is exercising. I used to be in really good shape, guys. I used to exercise every day or at least 5 days a week. And as I got busier and as I started prioritizing clients' needs and business needs over my own, the first thing to kind of drop off is the exercising. You either wake up early in the morning and do it, or you do it late at, some people do it midday, lunchtime, whatever, or late at night after everything's done. It doesn't much matter. I mean, we could get into the physiological reasons why one might be better than the other, but in reality, it doesn't much matter when it happens. You just need to make sure that you get some physical activity in, keep your blood moving, get your heart rate up. It's a tool that you can use to perform better. Self-care, like exercising and other forms of self-care, are actually tools that make you better in your business. So if you know, I feel like I don't have the time to carve out to do it because I'm letting something else not get done, or that's a stupid way to say it. I'm not allowing enough time for something else to get done instead. The reality is that the exercise actually makes me more focused. It gets you in better shape. It builds your confidence, and it helps you be a high performer. So I need to get back into that. That's something I'm definitely going to do in 2020. And as you start hustling, don't let that happen to you. Make a time in the day. And maybe if it's just riding a stationary bike, maybe if it's just walking, maybe if it's jogging, and maybe if it's weightlifting. One of those things. Pick one that's good for you, and rock it out. Make it part of your routine. And guys, the third thing that I want to improve on in 2020 is uploading more YouTube videos. Currently, I upload a couple per month. I want to increase that to a couple per week. That's my goal. You know, I don't know how I'm going to work it out, but I am going to upload more content for you, to not just to share information as if I'm teaching you, but really to share on my journey as I'm discovering things myself, and for you guys to be able to watch it in real time. I'm going to make a commitment to increase the amount of uploads I do on YouTube. I'm going to make a commitment to stay connected with my audience, that is you guys. And if you guys like this video, if you found it to be helpful or at all personally to yourself, give this video a like, give me a subscribe, click the little bell in your in the corner of your YouTube video so that when new videos come out from me, that you get a notification right away that they're there. And come with me on the ride, guys. I'm gonna upload more content. Come on the ride with me. Be a real estate investor, be an entrepreneur. Don't let these fears stop you from living out a dream, and understand that this stuff is stuff that everybody runs into, and that you don't let it have to, let it stop you from starting a business and working on a dream of yours. Guys, stick with me till the next video.